It all started with a hospital bed, and the sickening feeling that the person you love might love a game more than he loves you. I had just come out of surgery, not some routine outpatient thing, real surgery, appendicitis, they said. Caught late, there were complications. I was recovering, groggy and sore, with tubes taped to my arms and that sterile hospital scent clinging to every breath. And I was alone, 3.5 hours away from home. In a hospital I didn't know, in a country that wasn't mine. I'm 27. My partner, or at least the man I thought was my partner, is 39. We were away for the weekend when the pain started, sharp and sudden. We rushed to the nearest ER, and before I could even process what was happening, they were prepping me for emergency surgery. He was there for the first part, held my hand in pre-op, told me he'd be there when I woke up, and he was, for a little while. But Monday came, and with it, his job, his commute, his responsibilities. He had to go back to the city. I understood that. It made sense. He promised he'd come get me when I was discharged. That was supposed to be Wednesday. And Wednesday was the day everything fell apart, because Wednesday wasn't just discharge day. It was also game day. England was playing in what he called an unmissable football match, some major semifinal. I'm not English, not by birth, not by culture, so I didn't grow up with the reverence for the game that he did. But I've always tried to respect the things that mattered to him. I knew this wasn't just a game. It was a whole identity. His team, his friends, the stakes, the emotion. It mattered to him. So I tried to find a compromise. I offered to book a hotel near the hospital. That way, we could stay close and he wouldn't miss the game. He could stream it, relax, even watch with me if he wanted. We could have made it work, but he wanted to be at his friend's place. That was the only way to really experience it, he said. The atmosphere, the camaraderie, the whole ritual of it. So he promised he'd make it work, that he'd drive out to pick me up and still get back in time for kickoff. I believed him. On Wednesday afternoon, I waited and waited. He had to sit outside in his car. COVID restrictions. I was in the ward, watching the clock tick, watching the nurses shuffle by, waiting for paperwork that never seemed to come. Every time someone walked past, I sat up straighter, hoping this would be the moment they'd unhook the IVs and say I could go. After 2 hours, I got a text. He was getting nervous. He was worried about the time, about traffic, about missing the start of the game. I told him again, let's just get a hotel, please. You don't have to rush. We can still make it work. He didn't respond. Then another message. I have to leave or I'll miss the game. I couldn't believe it. I begged him, please don't leave me here. I'm not allowed to leave alone. They won't let me. I don't have anyone else here. I'll book the hotel. Just don't go. But he went. He drove off to be with his friends, to catch the opening whistle, to soak up the energy of a living room full of guys drinking beer and shouting at a screen, and left me. Alone. Post-op. In a hospital. 3 to 4 hours from home. I wasn't allowed to stay another night, and I wasn't allowed to leave by myself. That should have been the end of the story. But it wasn't, because one of my friends, bless her soul, took a train from London to Wales, then a taxi from the station to the hospital, then another taxi back to the city, with me slumped beside her, pale and exhausted and half-drugged, trying not to cry. We didn't make it home until 2 a.m., and the whole time, I was calling him, texting him, just to say I was okay, just to hear from him, just to not feel like I'd been thrown away like garbage. He didn't answer, just one cold message. I'll pick you up tomorrow, watching the game tonight. No question if I was okay, no offer to help, no apology, just a wall of silence between us and a television screen. When I finally walked through our front door in the early morning hours, sore, exhausted, emotionally gutted, he was livid. Not worried, not relieved, livid. He said I'd ruined the game, that I was selfish, that I embarrassed him in front of his friends because I kept calling and texting, that my drama had humiliated him. He couldn't even look at me. And that's when I realized something. In his mind, I was the problem, not the fact that he abandoned me, not the fact that I had just gone through a painful, frightening medical emergency and had to scramble to find a way home because the person I loved had a football match to catch. No. In his eyes, the problem was me, my neediness, my calls, my refusal to just accept it and sit quietly. He told me I bring too much drama into his life, that he hates how I make him look in front of his friends. I don't know how to process that. I offered a compromise. I begged for support. I tried to see it from his side, and still, somehow, I ended up being the villain in the story he's telling himself. He got to be the guy who made it home just in time for kickoff, and I got to be the woman who watched the person she loves walk away from her in a hospital hallway. So now I keep turning it over in my head. Was I unreasonable? Was I too emotional? Was it really not that big a deal, and I just made it one? Is it me? Was I the one who ruined everything? Or was I just someone who asked for the bare minimum, support, care, presence, and was made to feel like I was asking for the world? So, am I the asshole? You know, this one stays with you, not because of the football game, not even because of the abandonment, but because of how quickly someone's pain was labeled as drama. It's always easier to silence someone than to look at your own reflection. She had surgery, she had complications, she was scared, vulnerable, alone, and she did everything she could to compromise, to make it work for both of them. And when he made his choice, not just to leave, but to blame her for it, he told her everything she needed to know about her place in his life. Sometimes it's not the loud fights that tell you who a person is. It's the moment they leave you behind for something they claim is more important, and how they make you apologize for it. So here's a question for everyone listening. If someone left you in that hospital bed, would you still be trying to convince yourself that they're not a bad person? Let us know in the comments. And if this story made your blood boil, or broke your heart a little, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. There's someone out there who might need to hear this too. This is AITA Stories. And sometimes the hardest thing isn't the betrayal. It's realizing how long you've been calling it love.